All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, this is going to be a today's topic video. It is going to be for the 4th of April. So, 4 4. I will be doing a 4 4 portal message also on the 4th, but this video, just be aware it's going to come out a little bit in advance of that because I always try to get these out a little bit in advance because I have watchers that are all around the world in time zones that are quite a bit ahead of my own. So, all right, so what is the message for the today's topic for the 4th? We have motion, air, card 22, and we have card 21, companionship, animals. Heavy imagery on animals on both of these cards. So it could be a day of really strong instinct. Even the fact that we have air and motion, I'm going to say that there's something's coming in on the wind. And it could be companionship, but I feel like somebody's going to be sensing an approach, sensing. Now, granted, we could literally be talking about a character who is going to be really attuned, like their animal little, antenna is going to be up, and maybe they're going to discover that a lot of animals are drawn to them on this day. Now, it could be because they're kind of like connecting to their inner shaman, or that they we all have instinct, right? Just like animals do. And some people are particularly good with animals, as a whole. And I feel like this character, even if they didn't think that they were particularly good with animals, this may be a unique day. We're on that 4-4, on that date, because a character is deeply connected to their intuition, their instinct. That could be what is making animals react to them in this way as well. Like, walk into the car and here comes a stray cat who's never come up and sat down and stared up at you and done a little, mew and had a little cat conversation with you before. Like, it could be, odd things like that. Now here we have like a giraffe. I mean, maybe somebody's going to a zoo or maybe somebody lives where there are giraffes. That would be amazing. But horses, all of that. It could be a day for a lot of symbolism also, a lot of animal symbolism as a whole. But all of that is like a message, and a message about, hey, be aware, use the intuition. Something is coming. Use your instinct. Something is around you. And it may be very much that a character is around a kindred spirit. Someone who could become like a terrific romantic partner, a terrific friend, somebody to really consider bonding with. It could be a completely new person, a stranger who is around, because this is about companionship and it's about motion and it's about the smell is on the wind, that there's somebody special nearby. Pay attention to who's around is what this message is for our character, right? Okay, tell me more about that. I really like that. Actually, I should have stuck with an animal deck. I'll go to it in just a minute. We have an 8 of Swords. Okay, this is a character who has not been listening to their instinct. They have been suppressing it. They have been denying it. They have been fighting it, and it's keeping them stuck. It's time. Even here we see like a lot of wild and free animals. So it's kind of time. Oh, okay. It's kind of time for our character to free themselves. You notice that we have the 2 of Cups. We also have the Ace of Pentacles. It's not just time for a character to free themselves. It's time for them to free whomever the person is that they believe they're strongly connected to. So this is going to be maybe a fairly specific message. Well, I could actually see it in one of 2 ways. Either they have to free their mind and be open to the idea that they could actually meet a very kindred spirit, their 2 of Cups person that they have a strong, profound, and meaningful bond with, and that the 4th could be a day that like really truly changes their life for the better. But it could also be that our character is being encouraged to release a person that they thought had to be their bond. No, I want that person. I'm in a connection with them, even if they're not in my life. I have them in my life. I have to have them in my life. This could say, release it, because this is a sign of great fortune coming into a character's life. Ace of Pentacles can literally be, especially with the fish being here, fortune, financial success, all kinds of abundance, all kinds of free-flowing energy of every variety, of wealth, of prosperity, of happiness, of love. But it's really hard. Here's the analogy I like to use. If we want water to come out of our garden hose, but we're standing on the hose, can the water come out? It cannot. We have to take a step back, clamp the hose, get our weight off of that garden hose so the water can flow again. It's like a character has to acknowledge if they kept saying, no, I feel stuck. The universe is like, get yourself unstuck. Believe that there is companionship around you. Be open to it. Notice other people. If the Two of Cups person that you felt stuck by hasn't shown up in your life, release them. Tell them, I let you go. You haven't returned to me, but I release you with love. Even if I still feel a connection, I can move forward. There are other people for me to love. This is only to free oneself from this stuck energy. That's one way I can interpret this. The other way is to free oneself from rejecting the idea that there can be a bond formed with somebody like this. It's like whichever side of the fence a character has been stuck on, the encouragement is to be more open-minded, to step off the garden hose and allow energy to flow into one's life. That's the simplest way I could say it, and maybe the best way for me to describe that. Okay, let's go, if I can reach it, let's go here. All right, so tell me a little bit more about this. We have Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's a chance for a lot of, if not romance to enter into somebody's life, certainly for a wonderful day of self-love. And when are we most attractive? When we're really happy, right? When our eyes are bright and our tail is bushy because we're having a great day and we're laughing and we're warm and we're happy. So practicing self-love could make our character that much more attractive and could bring in that kind of companionship, or could make somebody notice and be like, wow, that person is really gorgeous. I'd like to go talk to them. I kind of feel though like Eight of Pentacles, I feel like this could be a little bit more important message on this. Let me go back really quickly to that Eight of Swords, that stuck energy. Tell me how to look at that, because I'm missing a key component of this story, and I can see it and I can taste it and I can't get to it yet. We have a Three of Pentacles. We have a Four of Wands. Okay, so the stuck energy for a character has been, they had a very precise vision of who they were supposed to marry, who they were supposed to, connect with, get into mischief with, build with. They were very specific on who that person has to be. Okay, so now let me go back over here to that Two of Cups. The Sun. This is changing the dynamic of the storyline just a little bit. And that is to say, I'm going to stick with the analogy of it's time to get off the garden hose. But instead of feeling a sense of stuck energy, I'm so sick of thinking about somebody that I say I love and I feel a bond to, instead of feeling stuck by that, feel liberated by it. Even if this person isn't in our character's life, this says feel liberated to love someone, to share at any point in time, how brief or how long, to share a really beautiful sacred bond. Shouldn't make our character feel stuck. Should make our character feel happy that they got to experience that, whether or not this person's going to be in their life. It feels like the reason the energy is supposed to be changing and shifting, it's a 4/4 portal, right? So we're going to have balanced energy. It could be imperative, basically, that a character opens the energetic doorway by saying, you know what? instead of feeling stuck and irritated or fearful or bitter or, like I haven't heard from them and I'm so stressed out over it, instead it's like, I'm going to project positive thoughts. I'm going to be glad that I felt a bond like that to somebody, whether they're in my life again or not, whether or not this situation ever returns or whatever the circumstances may be. Still, to feel a love like that is a beautiful thing, and I'm happy I had it, and I think fondly of them. Instead of thinking heavy thoughts, negative thoughts, tumultuous thoughts, stressful thoughts about a powerful bond, a love bond, why not think a positive thought about it instead? I know, easier said than done if our character has, felt stuck for a reason, if they felt unhappy for a reason. But all of this says, but there's activity and there's companionship coming in. Now, is it with this particular Two of Cups person? I don't know, but it's kind of looking like it. But I wouldn't pin it to that. Sometimes what a character believes must be theirs and has to be theirs, sometimes we don't always make the best choices, right? I mean, I think there's a billion little examples we could make or present to ourselves to make that case that just because I say I want it and I think it's the best thing in the world doesn't actually mean that I'm always right about the things that I want, right? Sometimes we say, oh, it would make me so happy, and the thing that I want to do so much is just go home, sit on the couch, and veg out. When in fact, maybe it would be a little bit better to take a nap and get some rest and restore that way, instead of saying, oh, I'm so tired, all I want to do is just go home, sit down, and do nothing. I mean, that's fine. So, support ourselves. But on the other hand, if our body was calling out for rest and relaxation, and what we needed was sleep, but now we're wide awake and wasting hours on the couch watching TV, not actually getting that peaceful sleep, which was the better choice? Sometimes we do the thing that we say we think is going to be good for us, when in reality, was it the best? So it just kind of poses that kind of question. So just because a character had been focused on, I thought that's who I was supposed to marry, that's who I'm supposed to collaborate with, but I felt so stuck. This says release the entire energy of being stuck in any capacity. Instead, replace it with joyful abundance, maybe, practicing like speaking something in a positive light. I've met a wonderful person. I'm so glad that I was able to share some beautiful emotions. And you notice the birds are flying free. And it's like, and if that isn't who's in my greatest and highest good to return to my life or be with me, I'm still delighted that I met them, and I wish them the best. And I shared happy moments. And I believe that I will be happy again. It feels imperative that our character takes on that energy flow, particularly in respect to this thought process, because they have not had that thought process. And everything on the fourth says, let's get the best energy going. Let's get the best mindset. Let's get things looking toward happiness, future full of love, and work toward, making a mentality of like progress and joy. Okay, so let me just ask this. We have to go back to the very beginning, because those first two cards says there's motion and there's companionship. And intuitively, instinctually, our character knows this. And something's coming in. We got a herd of wild horses coming in. So tell me just about that. I like that we set the stage no matter what. Okay, so we have a Two of Swords. This says that our character's energy perhaps will determine what can enter their world. The Two of Swords wears a blockage that is sometimes not visible, but the blockage is there nonetheless. Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Our character may actually need to let off the gas pedal of thinking about a romantic connection with the Two of Cups, and instead turn their attention to a totally, like, welcoming in a completely different kind of companionship. They may be hoping that some Two of Cups returns into their life, when in fact they need to let the gas pedal off of that and instead be aware and open to the idea that, wait a second, my instinct says something is approaching. Companionship of a different variety, the kind of companionship that might actually be coming into my life as a gift to help me feel better about everything in my life. The Nine of Pentacles is restoring personal value, personal worth, personal power. And I'm wondering if the kind of relationship that may emerge, like there could be a very special comment or supportive message that comes in from a non-romantic avenue, or maybe somebody who wants to have a romance starting with our character, but it could come in, heck, our character could be flooded by a whole bunch of really lovely energies, friendly energies, warm, supportive energies. And that's going to be really important for them to be open to that, even if it's in a non-romantic context, because it may help them identify, wait a minute, you know what? There's a lot of people who think highly of me, and that feels amazing. I didn't realize I'd been carrying a burden, the burden of feeling maybe not pursued or not loved enough by someone that I really wanted to marry, someone that I really felt was a Two of Cups. But here's all these other kind of interesting, kind-hearted individuals that pop up into my life that have supportive messages, have kindness, and it feels really good. And it reminds me that, oh, that's right, I'm a valuable person. I've been so busy maybe thinking for a while about that one relationship that I don't think has materialized. In this storyline, I don't think our character is with their Two of Cups person. And I think instead of this being a story where it's like, oh, well, the Two of Cups person is coming back, it says, no, our character needs some, like they need a little shot of self-esteem. And that's the kind of companionship and the kind of support that's coming in on the 4th. You know, we think of like a Four of Wands as being like a perfect relationship, even a marriage. But in this case, like that 4-4 energy is what needs to happen to get a character themselves balanced. They need to have good non-romantic relationships and a relationship with themselves, that self-love. It's basically our character on the 4th is supposed to be getting prepped to then have a romantic connection. And sure enough, we have the Lovers card, which tells me that this looks like their Two of Cups person might be doing the exact same thing, feeling all kinds of positive energy come into their life right now that they need to experience to elevate how they were thinking about themselves before there can be a romantic union. So this is the prep work. This whole storyline is about a bunch of prep work going on. That's interesting. Let me get just one more and then we'll wrap this up. 7 of Cups. There's no promise as to how anything is going to work out or supposed to work out, because these characters get to decide for themselves, right? But I really like the fact that what we see is transformation. We have the serpent underneath the tree of life. We see these two hearts that are actually intertwined, but we see the cats are a little bit different. There's something about them that is opposite, and yet they're kind of experiencing the same thing. I feel like our lead character is going through the same, like, personal rebuilding of their esteem, their self-esteem on the 4th, as their Two of Cups person is going through. And it's very important. It is not time for them to necessarily be back in each other's lives for a romance quite yet. Will that come to pass? 7 of Cups says any future is possible. Anything can be written. Once these two have their fullest energy restored, and it's almost like they're getting a little like transfusion, you know, both of these characters have needed to get their self-esteem bumped up several notches. And what happens after they're all replenished and refreshed? Anything could happen. So it's a day where it's like, I can't wait to see what the message is for the 5th. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.